Hello everyone and welcome to my journals to a new weekly journal, and welcome to my channel. This is what I wanted to say first, but it was journal, so I ended up with journal. As I said last week, I started to uh, remake this videos, these weekly journals, because I enjoy making them and I enjoy see all your feedback that you're giving to me, and I'm happy to be here again. Last week I was asking for you to ask if you have anything that you want to discuss in these videos. I have prepared something for you today. I hope that I will finish after showing you everything that I was working on, and after telling you, because also last week I was telling you that I have a few projects that I'm thinking on, and that I might share with you, and I want to share with you which are my projects, and I really want to know what you think, because it's a big thing. I'm doing it by myself, everything, so without any help from anyone. So this is a huge thing because it will mean a lot of work from my side, and I want to know that this will be well received by you. So anyways, I will start by telling my story, because Nini said that it would be interesting to hear how I started crocheting and how I learned to design garments, and how I fit crocheting, filming, designing, editing, all this thing in my life as a mom. So I will start with when I started to crochet. I don't know if I said this story before. I know I said it, but I don't know if I said it here on the channel and with this weekly journals. So I started to crochet back in childhood, to learn to crochet and knit back in childhood. My mom taught me, and it was kind of a gang back then, because it was really with the doilies and Irish crocheting. I don't know if you know the Irish crochet. I think I have something because I took it from my mom. So wait a minute. Okay, this is the perfect example. So this is it. I don't know, it's really old, so you can see some stains here. I don't know if you can see. So basically this is a plastic and then a canvas, and you're drawing on the canvas the model, the doily that you want to make. And then with the Romanian cord, I don't know if you know it, you are sewing the cord into the draw, and then you fill in. So this is how the cord will stay fixed after you getting off this yarn over here. You're filling with different kind of patterns using your needle, darn needle, most of it. So this is made in super fine yarn. So basically this was what my mom was doing when I learned to crochet, besides other stuff. So I kind of learned this thing because the most tedious part of it was the cord, and my mom was letting me to make the cord. I was making big balls of this Romanian cord because it's fun, and it's called Romanian cord, and I'm from Romania. So this is what my mom was doing along with other ladies from her workplace and neighbors, what they were doing. So, and then of course this type of stuff, after getting finished, it was removed from this plastic and canvas, and then bleached and put it on the, I don't know, table and everywhere. So this is how I learned. I actually made one of these. It was a butterfly, but unfortunately my mom didn't have it anymore. So I took this one from my mom and some doilies that she had, and she's not using them anymore, and I want to do something with them, but for now I don't know what I want to do really. So, but it wasn't something that I was so interested into. It was simply fun for me, and it was back then in Romania. And I don't know, maybe in other countries too. They were starting to see this kind of knitting, crocheting to be something for all the ladies, and you know, you don't need to do that. You don't need to learn that. Go to school, go and learn something useful for you. So the same with knitting. My mom learned to knit really late, so it wasn't something that she learned into the childhood. My mom was more like interesting in boyish stuff, so she wasn't interested into this manual stuff. But she was doing it, teaching. Actually, I first started to knit. With my mom, working on the sweater that she was making for me. And yeah, but I don't remember. I think I made a headband back then, but I don't remember doing something big, something except that doily and maybe a headband in knitting. I don't remember. But my idea of crochet was this kind of lacy stuff. Like, I remember that my mom made me 2 skirts that I was wearing, and it was also with fingering weight cotton or lace, and not with thicker yarn. So the thicker yarn was for knitting, so usually during the summer she was doing this, and then these doilies and other stuff, and during winter she was knitting sweaters. So the thicker yarn, it was considered to be for knitting, not for crochet. So I never saw for example, another size or bigger size than 0.5 1 millimeter in my mom's tools. So yeah. And then I found crochet when I had my daughter again. So this was in 2016 when we moved here in Netherlands. So I was looking to do something. Even before that, I was eager to start something, to work something like handmade stuff. I was doing some paintings. Even at my previous job, I was giving as a Christmas present some vase, mugs, whatever that was hand painted. So, and then I made my wedding bouquet out of paper flowers. So I always was interested in this kind of crafty thingies. And then I started to crochet. Actually, it was one rug that I made for my daughter's room. It was with Winnie the Pooh. I think I showed it to you before, and I remember ordering from Amazon because it was the cheapest yarn that I could find. It was a lot of yarn into that rug because it's 80 on 1.5 meters. So I didn't want to spend so much money, and I said, okay, I will order it. And I got with a lot of leftovers. And then I said, having a baby, it was nice to start making some baby stuff. And then while I was looking for models, I didn't know how to read a pattern. With YouTube tutorials, I didn't have the patience to look on video tutorials. So always I had this, even before designing, even before doing this small business, I wasn't able to follow a pattern from start to finish. I didn't know how to read them actually. So how I started to crochet, it was then I found on Pinterest and all the internet, I found the charts, the diagrams, and it was more helpful for me to look at the diagrams and then to recreate the thing by myself. So this is how I started. I started to learn the symbols of the crochet stitches, and then looking at the diagrams, and then I started to crochet. And to start designing and to start making garments, what I did is I knew some basic stitches. I knew how to decrease, increase. So these are the basic stuff that you can do and you can learn. And then I simply took what I had in my wardrobe, like jackets, and I have made mostly jackets following uh, one of the shapes of jacket that I had, sweaters. So I started to just look into my wardrobe and trying to recreate the shapes and everything. This helped me a lot, and even I recommend it even now to do so, because if you don't know the size, if you don't know the ease, how you might read a lot of things about the positive is, negative is, I don't know, shapes and so on. But if you don't know what it means, it's difficult for you to figure it out, okay, what it's about, and you need to do a lot of research about it. So if you take a sweater, this is what I was teaching you even with the round yoke sweater, to take a sweater, to take the measurements of your sweater that you like to wear, you like the fit, and then to try to recreate that fabric of the sweater into crochet stitches. And this is what I was doing. My first designs with the mossy jacket, which I'm really proud of it, and then I think the Batwing sweater, the same. So I was just looking in my wardrobe and see some stuff that I want to make. And with the mossy jacket, I realized after years and years, how difficult is the construction, because it was with shaping the waist, then increasing again, then decreasing for the cross back, then working those sleeves that are satin sleeves, pockets. So it has such a difficult construction, now realizing which are the levels of crocheting. And I made one of that even from the beginning. So I didn't know anything about it. Even the pattern, I first wrote the pattern and it was awful. So it's weird. So you can do a lot of stuff if you think about it, if you can see the shape. So that's why I was shaping the waist, even if I could go straight from bottom up. But I shaped the waist because this is how the jacket was that I was using as a pattern, as a model. So this is how I started, and then I started to post on my social media about it. It was just proud of what I did, and people were starting to ask about the pattern and how I did it, which is the pattern that I used, and I didn't know about that. So then I started to research again, what is the pattern, what you can do, what it's all about. And then I step by step I kind of found everything. And then searching for pattern, I found a lot of website blogs where people were posting their patterns and how to make stuff. And I said, oh, I could do that. So I started to do everything from scratch. So my husband is, I think said that, it's working in IT. And he said, okay, I can make you a website, but you need to be patient about that. But then no, I just simply got into WordPress and building my website from scratch, getting a lot of technical stuff that I didn't knew about it, but somehow I was able to put that website on the internet. And then with the YouTube video, I didn't had anything to film or something. I was having a small tripod and put it in over a box because I needed to be a bit higher. So it was really like a fun journey. And I know that nowadays designers are giving tips on how to start this kind of stuff or this kind of business. But if I will go back, I will want to happen in the same way, with the same steps, because I learned so many things. And as I'm telling to my daughter every day, the experience is the best way to learn things. Otherwise, if you're reading in books but you didn't experience it yourself, it's somewhere in your head, but then it will pass. So that's why if I will go back, I will do it the same way. So this is how I started everything. Of course, that over the years I started to learn more and more and more and more stuff. To be a better designer or to know more about it, it helped me a lot to have different collaboration with brand, yeah, with yarn brands and with magazine, because this is was how I knew from a professional how the pattern should look and which are the things that should be included in a pattern. So this was really helpful because they were asking and giving me like a guide to follow to write the pattern. So this was really helpful because this is what how I learn about the construction of a pattern and what a pattern should include. And then how I managed to put everything in my life as a mom. Well, some days are more difficult than others. I'm trying to get a routine of everything. So usually I'm starting my morning with like a robot. So I'm doing all the things, preparing my daughter for school, dropping her at school if my husband cannot, and then coming back home, do some another morning routine like making beds, dishes and everything, because I want to make them in the morning if I didn't have time in the evening. And then I'm starting to do the editing, filming, whatever it's writing patterns while my daughter is at school, because if she's at home, sometimes she plays by herself, sometimes she has a friend over, but it's not like I can concentrate because I can still hear a lot of mama, mama, where is that? Mama, mama, I need that. Mama, mama. So it's difficult to concentrate. So I'm trying to do all the stuff that requires being more concentrate or quiet or some things like that while she's at school. And then after she's coming back from school, it's difficult again to do some other stuff because sometimes she has different after school activities like dancing, swimming and so on, and I need to drop her off. Sometimes she has some play days, so I need to drop her off, or having friends over. So afternoons I like this crazy, you don't know every day what will bring you. So it's kind of and it's more about what she wants to do, what she needs to do, what she has to do. And then of course dinner time, I'm cooking and having that dinner moment. Sometimes this is difficult because being in different time zone, and I noticed that my Instagram followers are more available during the evening, my evening, because maybe in US it's morning. So I need to post. I made a habit to post during the evening, but it's while I'm cooking for dinner or eating. So that's why it's difficult to be actually active and respond to comments and everything. But yeah. And then after I put my daughter to sleep, then I have maybe a couple of hours of quiet moment and when I crochet. Because during the days, not all the days, not in all days, they have something to do with filming, editing, or things like that. So sometimes I can stay simply staying crochet or knit or working on something. But this is how I prepare stuff. That's why I cannot be so organized with everything, because I'm trying to do as much as possible during this school time that I have. And of course that this if I didn't have time, then I need to go into the next day. But yeah, somehow this is how my life is going. I'm trying. I was working a lot during weekends, nights and everything. So on years I started to, okay, slow down, you don't need to do it such a hard work, because what's the fun in it? But I was working quite a lot, and even in weekends. And now lately, for the past 2 years or so, I decided not to work in weekends. For example, I'm not posting unless it's something, okay, oh, this will be interesting or something like that. But otherwise, and also I'm crocheting or knitting even if I don't have anything to do, or something where I feel like this is a relaxed moment, watching a movie and have some crochet. But otherwise I'm trying not to work on weekends. So yeah, this is basically how everything is going on here now. I want to show you what I was working on this week and what happened this week, and maybe to share it with you those projects that I was talking about, because I don't want you to think that she's just saying that she wants to do that and that, but she doesn't say anything about it. So yeah, I'm kind of afraid to talk about it because I don't I don't feel like 100% sure that I want that, or at least I have those you know ups and downs. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't wait to do that, and it's a good idea, and yeah, and then maybe it's not such a good idea. So I'm not quite sure, but anyways, I'm hoping that I will be okay. Let it be, and let's see what is happening. So for now, let's talk about what I was working on this week. Okay, so first thing first, because it was happening on Monday, I released the lava sweater pattern and the video tutorial. This was a pattern that it was tested, and the second one that I got into test. I'm super excited with this testing thing, but somehow I don't know, I feel some pressure with it, with everything, preparing everything, and give all the information. I don't know, it's somehow I don't feel, there are days or things or when I'm not feeling comfortable with it. So I don't know, but yeah, the end result is phenomenal. I always love the tester sweaters or project. It's beautiful, it's everything. This is so overwhelming when you started to see all the good feedback and all the suggestions and all the sweater. It's a really nice feeling. So for that I might keep the testing process, but otherwise everything, it's before, I don't know, it's starting to, it's this is how I feel, a bit stressful, but maybe just because I'm just starting to do that. So a few things about the sweater. This is work with Marathon from Katia, Marathon 3.5, which is listed by the brand as a as a category 3 or sport. No, it was like as a sport weight yarn, but I would say that is a DK weight yarn. I don't know, it's my feeling about the thickness of the wire of the yarn itself. And I don't know if I still have one over here. And I used the 6.5 millimeter crochet hook because I was working it into this moss linen stitch pattern, and I didn't want it to be too stiff because I was working a jacket, like the mossy jacket, where the pistachio mid rocks jacket, and it's kind of, you know, like single crochet. It's not really drapey and as a fabric, so I didn't want it that. I wanted a sweater that it will flow and it won't be too stiff. But some people will find difficult to work DK weight yarn with a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. So you can use a thicker yarn as long as you are feeling comfortable with it, and as long as you're getting to the gauge, it's perfectly fine if it's working for you. So as long as you're getting to the gauge, this is not like you need to use the exact same yarn. Okay, then with attention, because I had some testers that told me that, you know, I made so many things, so many that you design, but I never had an issue with the gauge to get to that gauge. So I kind of think that this is because the chain stitches, somehow we tend to have not the same tension on the chain stitches as on the actual stitches, single crochet, double crochet. And maybe that is why you are getting the chain stitches a bit tighter, and that is why. So try to keep the chain stitches loose, and it will work simply fine. Then with the neckline, mine is pretty So it's not like getting over my head really difficult. So, but some people had issues with that because it was too tight. And here it might be the same problem and the same issue, because on when making the foundation chain, you tend to have the tension on your chain stitches smaller than the actual stitches. So that's why I do recommend for to don't have to um, to don't have this problem with being the collar too tight and not being able to put it over to dress it, to just use a bigger crochet hook for the foundation chain, or you can use the foundation single crochet, which is actually how you make stitches, and this will give you a bit of more elasticity on the foundation and it might fix that. Other thing that you can do, because this is worked in sets of 5 rows, I don't really remember. So you have one row with increasing and then followed by 4 rows without increasing. I hope I'm correct and it's not 5. And you can lower your neckline to the next increase row. So this was my increase row over here, and I can start with the stitches that I have at the increase row, because this is how you will add more stitches and you can continue the pattern from there. This might be an idea. So this is what it's all about, the lava sweater. So let's go back to some other stuff that I worked on this week. Okay, another thing that I was working on this week was, and I don't know what happened with the original sweater, because I know that I have it, but I tried to find it everywhere before filming this video and I wasn't able to find it. I hope it will be somewhere. So it's the My Precious sweater, which Expression Fiber Arts asked me to work on, to remake one of my oldest design using their yarns. And I sent them a list of patterns that I want to remake. Is actually wanted to update the pattern and everything, and of course they picked up My Precious sweater because yeah, it's precious. So now I'm working on this. I'm using the same pattern, but somehow I changed a few things. And so one of the things that I changed is that for the yoke, I didn't start it in the middle, so this is the back. So I started actually the row into the raglan increases. So are the chains, which make actually not that line on the middle of the sweater, which is nice. And then I made, because this yarn is I think merino with silk. Sorry, I'm keep. Okay, so I don't know, my videos has stopped. So it's baby alpaca and mulberry silk. So it's alpaca with silk. And my original design was worked in acrylic and a mix of acrylic and cotton. And I found this like getting really, I feel it heavier, I don't know. So because of that, I think it's getting stretching. So I found that the yoke I needed to work with 4 rows less, I think, and then change it the armpit chain, because I needed to add a bit of the armpit chain because the width wasn't enough. So I might change this pattern with this project, at least this note. But anyways, I kind of love it, and I think it's like the sleeves, because of getting I will try to dress with it. Sorry about that. So because I needed to add more armpit chains, the sleeves got a bit wider, I think, than it was, but I kind of love it. So I love this version so much, and I love it even like this cropped. But yeah, So yeah, it's beautiful, and I can't wait to finish it because I kind of told them that I will finish everything by the end of January, so it's kind of like a rushing project. Then I started to write the pattern for the joggers. I don't know why I wait so long with this, because I was so dying of writing the pattern, taking the final photos and wear them, but I kind of postpone every time this pants project, even if I follow the same pattern as for the shorts. So it's not that much to work on the pattern because I already have the a pattern for the shorts. I follow the same pattern, so I only need to add the notes for the length. So it's weird why I didn't do it, but I started to write it today actually, so not this week but today. And yeah, I hope I will finish because I already released two patterns this month of January with the vest, which was something not planned, and with the lava pullover. And yeah, I don't know, maybe I will do it in January as well, because I also have the update of the Shining Pearl jumper to post and recreate, and I don't know, maybe the summer will come over me and I won't be able. Yesterday, what I was working on and starting just yesterday, I was starting to make a version of the Stella jumper, but using cotton yarn, and I want to make it as a t-shirt, so not as a sweater. And I'm using this is size 3 cotton yarn, so pretty thin yarn, and the same 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. And it's because I think the same white version of the Stella jumper, it was also size 3, but somehow I find it different with the cotton yarn, because yeah, maybe because I'm working with smaller hook for this one. I have another project that I'm working in cotton and with smaller hook, and I kind of find it difficult to find my tension on this one, but I kind of like it. So I can't wait to see how it will look when it will be done, if it will be a nice t-shirt to wear. Now I want to show you a project which I was working on, and which I want to be part of some of the projects that I was telling you about. So let me show you. I just showed a sneak peek on the on my Instagram, but I don't know how much it was visible of that. Ta-da! Yeah, maybe it was looking like a sweater, because while I was working on it, I was thinking, I can use this like this pattern for and it can be a nice poncho as well as for a sweater. But no, this is a skirt, and I want to make it a knee length skirt, so I still have a bit of working on it. And I'm using, for this color work pattern, I'm using mosaic crochet, because I was telling you about that I have an idea of a project. So this is one row mosaic crochet stitch. I might show you some day this technique. And even if it's not a difficult design and color work, but I didn't want it to make it difficult and try to carry on strands and everything, so I found this method as being more accessible and easier to create this design. But now, because these are overlay stitches basically, so one row over here that you can see in double crochet, it's actually a 2 row. I should work in row, so this kind of starting to be a bit heavy. I didn't place anything in the waistband because I was thinking, but it's doubled, we're using slip stitches, and I was thinking to insert a cord, but because this one will be kind of like a nice to wear skirt. Let me put you a bit farther, sorry. uh, I don't know where to put it. So yeah, so I was thinking maybe to use a belt or something, so I might have some belt stripes, or even an elastic will be nice, but I didn't put it at the beginning before folding the waistband. Anyways, I have to make another one because I didn't film any steps. It was just a prototype, but I really love it. And what I wanted to make with this project, because this is where I'm getting to, you know that I said about it that my dream is to release like a collection. I don't know, it feels so professional doing that, so to have a few potters to release as a collection of a season. So this is kind of my dream, and this is my project for this year, and this is supposed to be like one project from this collection, so it's kind of a secret stuff, yeah. Okay, so I was thinking to have maybe 4 or 5 designs, and not only this to release it as a collection, but I do want to put everything in kind of magazine format. So this was the idea, like a magazine. And editing this magazine, so I don't want to call up, I don't want to make a research for that to collection, and somehow I'm pretty used with digital stuff. I learned a lot of things from the Adobe InDesign, which I'm writing the patterns using this software. So I kind of want to put everything and build a magazine myself. So not only the patterns, but actually the design, the of the magazine itself. So I don't know if it will be possible. I don't know if I will have time for it. I don't know if I will be able to do it, like with my knowledge so far. So yeah, but this was my dream. Maybe the collection will be anyways out, I don't know. I just have this sample not even finished yet, and somehow if some other project will come over, I don't know what it will happen. But this is kind of idea that I had in my head for quite a while, and I want to start working on it, at least to know that it's not only the idea, that I had something. I started to work on it. So this is one of my precious ideas or projects that I want to share with you. And I have a dream like releasing this kind of collection every season, and who knows, maybe then we will do it even more often. But yeah, I hope that it will get to reality. I know that it's all about me and I can do it, nobody else. So yeah, I need to work hard for that. And another project that I have, and it's kind of related, no, I have 2 more projects. I started to work on a beginner course, I don't know which is the right pronunciation about it, because I noticed that this kind of idea of crocheting or knitting is getting more and more popular. It's not because I want to get advantages over that, but I just simply get asked for many people if I want to learn how to crochet. Do you have some beginner videos or beginner tutorials? And I'm getting so many messages like that, and I said, okay, if people are asking, that means that they want to learn this thing, and that means that I can do something for them, because I don't have any beginners thing, or I don't know, it's not like trying to teach you to do something. So I started to work on a course, which is for now I just had the steps. I didn't, and I managed to film some parts of the basic stitches that I have, like this over here. But this course, besides teaching you how to choose the yarn, what yarn to choose, how to read the yarn label and how to interpret what is written on the yarn label, how to work simple stitches like this, how to decrease, how to increase, but we will end up by making a simple construction sweater. So this was the three basic stitches, like single crochet, double crochet and half double crochet. And after learning that and master that during the course, you'll be able to choose one stitch that we learned and then to build up your sweater. And I will teach you, and you know that I already shared with you some information about how to calculate stitches, how to measure, how to put everything from centimeters or inches to stitches and things like that. So in the end, after learning a few basic stitches and a few basic stuff to make actual a sweater. So this is the idea of the course, that you don't need to know too much to actually be able to make sweaters or to make something for yourself. And I'm seeing a lot of people who embrace this technique of crochet, and they are doing such a simple designs. And I noticed that you don't need to overcomplicate it. Okay, a bit of a challenge is nice from time to time, but actually you can do a lot of so many great things and wearable that you don't need that much knowledge for it. So this is about this course that I want to share with you. It might be on the Udemy platform, I don't know yet, because I don't want to use my website for that, because it will be too complicated for the technical stuff. But yeah, we'll see. And another project, and I was telling you that I'm afraid to share about these ideas because I don't know if I will manage to do all of them. But another thing is that I want to put to create some ebooks with my designs, so to be able to sell them in a bundle, like many of them, but with a bit of more information, not only the patterns. This might be easier to do it because I already have the patterns. I'm not planning to do with newer patterns or newer designs, so just to put some things together. But always it's all about the layout and about the design, because I want to be everything put in a nice booky shape. So yeah, not like a book, but the digital, but still to have some steps and some things over there that it will look nice and beautiful. So yeah, this is my project for this year, so it's not going to happen everything at once. I don't know if something will happen, because life can be tricky sometimes and not give you the permission to get where you want. But the most important is that I have these dreams, and it doesn't matter if it will be this year, next year, I will do them anyways. So yeah, these are my project. This is what I was working on this week, and I don't think we will have time for another thing, because this is getting pretty long and I don't want that. But I already started actually with some stitch patterns tutorial for spring and summer, because I was doing my research on what to use besides what I have already with the mosaic crochet, which is not kind of a difficult stitch to make. But I was doing some research and some stitch patterns, and I have like a book. Where's the book? I don't know where I put the book. Yeah, so I have a book with stitch patterns, and I'm so sorry that I don't know where I put it. to be able to talk a bit more about it. And I want to make like a stitch patterns tutorials for you to get inspired on what to use on this new season that is coming, because I'm already thinking about spring and summer. I don't want winter anymore and being cold. And yeah, maybe this and I wanted to do another, because I already published one tutorial with the stitch pattern, and I have a few that I chose, and I wanted to share with you another stitch tutorial in this weekly journal, but because it's getting too long, I think I will let it for another time. So yeah, this was what I had for you today, and I can't wait to see your thoughts about the projects that I have and what do you think about them. And please leave it in a comment, and even if I'm not answering right away, I do read all the comments and I try to be as present as possible. But yeah, not always it's possible, because I'm the only one doing all the stuff, and besides my life, as I was explaining to you earlier. So it's not because I don't want to engage with you in the comments. It's just because I don't have time. But yeah, please let it in the comments, what do you think about it, and I will edit this video as soon as possible, because I'm so curious about your thoughts about these projects that I have. Wish me luck, and yeah, see you next time. Thank you so much for being here and listen, because this is an important thing, and that's why I wanted to share with you this project, because I know that if I'm talking about them with a loud voice and not only in my head, it's more probable to get into reality. So yeah, thank you so much for being here and listen, and see you next time, and we'll see what we will have next to share and to learn and whatever. So please let in the comments anything, your thoughts about the project, anything that you will want to discuss or learn in the future videos, because I do want to hear your suggestions. Of course, I will add a link to the Google form that I'm using for these videos, and but as I can see that it's not that handy to go there, I will appreciate either if you're using the Google form, or if you are just leaving a comment. So thank you so much once again. Have a great weekend, and see you next time.